Hey, everybody. Welcome to our second session for today for Tech Week
Whoop, whoop.
21. I am Heather White, and we are joined with our very own and most fabulous Nikki Laverne.
Most fabulous. I'll take
You
it.
are. And she's going to talk to us today about ways to use Google Slides for some simple but very effective parent-guardian communication.
Yep.
So
I have this link up here at the top. It's a bit.ly, and I believe Heather's going to paste it into the chat as well. The P, the C, and the M are capitalized, and it does matter. But within this presentation are a bunch of templates that I want you guys to be able to access. So type in that code or that link, and then you can, when we get to them, you'll see. So here we go. We are just going to click on through right here. All right. So first off, whenever you're communicating with parents, we've got what I call the 4 C's: consistent, be clear, be considerate, and be comforting. The very first one is to be consistent. You want to make sure that you keep the communication platform the same all the way through the year. There's so many things out there. There's Remind, Dojo, Class Tag, Google Classroom, Seesaw. There's a lot. And many of us who are teachers as well as parents, we saw both sides of it. As a parent, I got overwhelmed. And as a parent, as a teacher, Class Dojo seems really fun. As a parent, I absolutely hated it because it was constantly asking me to upgrade. It wouldn't let me do all the cool features without an upgrade. And that it just caused a lot of problems in my house. So as cool as Class Dojo is from the teacher side, from the parent side, I didn't love it. Another thing was we're just constantly, especially if you've got a student in one of the older grades that has 6 or 7 different teachers, 6 or 7 different platforms is a lot. One of our moms of an elementary student said, every teacher is posting differently. We have to go to 3 different locations to find his work. We're stressed that we're missing something. And poor girl, she was at her wit's end. And as teachers, sometimes we don't see that. So definitely, whatever you choose it at the beginning of the year and keep it consistent. You're going to find some cool new things along the way. Hold off on using those until the next school year. Another part of being consistent is for schools and districts. Important information needs to be distributed through the same medium through the entire school year. So for the district, we do email and automated phone call. I know my kids' school does the same thing. We get an email, we get an automated phone call. Sometimes we even get a text. So schools try to do that, keep it consistent. Teachers, select one app to use for communication and another for distribution of assignments if you need one, which we do because we're trying to use that Google Classroom as a makeup folder. Notice this is cool stuff. We just learned about Flipgrid. It's awesome. You don't have to give out Flipgrid links. There is a share to Google Classroom button. All of these really awesome things can be accessed straight through Google Classroom. That way, your parents and students are not having to go find all these links. Put it all in one place and keep it consistent. So we also surveyed our parents. And we said, how does your school or teacher attempt to communicate with you? And there were a ton of different ones. And these were the biggest ones. And then which do you prefer? The top 2 was Remind messages and emails, which I get. Totally get that. Next in line was automated phone call. Not an actual person on the phone call, automated. So they don't want to talk to us. They just want to hear what they need to know. I'm pretty sure everyone knows Remind, but if you're a new teacher, Remind is amazing. It is free. It is a communication tool and that says clears, but that teachers use to connect instantly with students and parents. You can send quick, simple messages to any device through your phone, and you don't use your personal number, which we all know never to use. I used it one time. I regretted that for 4 years. 4 years. And when that kid graduated, I was like, hallelujah, no more text in the middle of the night. Now, they can still message you and Remind. I suggest turning those suckers off because I've gotten messages this past semester at 3 a.m. No, just no. How you can use it with teachers. So if you're an administrator, you can use it to do schedule changes, lockdown notifications, emergency communication, bus breakdown, or just, hey, quick reminder of the meeting after school today. It'll take 5 minutes. Then with parents, schedule changes, upcoming events, emergency communication, announcements, reminders. What we liked to do was take pictures of the agenda for the week and send that out so parents know what they're supposed to be getting. Be consistent in how you post. So we want to post consistently and in the same place, but we also want to post the same way. It just makes it easier for parents and students to navigate. For schools and districts, you want to consider having a single set of formats that all teachers follow. Not one set, because we're all different. We all do things differently, but maybe a series of sets. Choose one of these. And teachers, keep your formatting the same throughout the year. I get that it might take a little bit in the beginning, but once you find what works, stick with it the entire year. And here are some examples. So this teacher here, she decided to do it by units. So unit 5, week 15, here's everything. And she labeled it Monday, do this before Wednesday, on Wednesday, before Thursday. So she had this laid out. I knew exactly when I'm supposed to have this done. This other teacher decided to do it by day. If you chose to do this, you learned real quick that after 100 topics, you don't get any more. So you had to start deleting topics and moving things around. My suggestion would be, if you chose to do it by day, start a whole new Google Classroom second semester. And that's actually not such a terrible suggestion regardless, because your kids are going to still be trying to return work, turn things in from August, and it's February. It'll drive you bonkers. So maybe, I think one teacher even did every 9 weeks. Regardless of what you choose, be consistent in how you post. Here's one down here that I kind of wanted to bring up a little bit later. Notice that she's got her semester 2, week 18, this stuff here. But this up here, this class syllabus, is not under a topic. And we're going to pull up some of this later. But what I learned was, if it's not in a topic, it stays at the top. Whereas every time you create a new topic, the new topic goes at the top and bumps everything else down. So for things like class syllabus, class announcements, or the agendas that I'm going to give you, you would want to not put those under a topic and leave those up at the top so they stay at the top year round. Okay, be consistent. So the school should have a consistent means of communication. Here are some examples. You would not choose all of them. You would pick one of them. So you can do a Monday message, email or remind that goes out every Monday with the events of the week. That is how, for virtual school, we chose to do our ELA. Every Monday morning, they got a message that said, this is what is due this week. You can do a Tuesday talk where you have a video released every Tuesday with what's going on, what's up Wednesday, next week's news. So my son, my youngest, goes to North Live Oak Elementary. Shout out. And every Friday at like 3 o'clock, they send out the Mustang message. Here's what I love about it. I know it's coming every Friday. I know it's coming every Friday at 3. I get off at 3:30. I have time to open my calendar, write what I need, and then move on. Look at their email. It's not cutesy pootsy. It's not a lot of effort. It is literally date, thing, date, thing, date, thing. I love that. I love it. I don't have to sort through all the cute graphics. I don't have to look. Nope. It is short, simple, to the point. So your parent communication does not have to be this big, amazing thing. It can be short and simple, and that's how we like it. So good job, North Live Oak. I love that. All right. So the next C is to be clear. Forget your educational vernacular and use clear, easy to understand words and instructions. Sometimes we want to impress parents with our word choice. It's not necessary. We just confuse them most of the time. Here are a couple of statistics that I got from the Center for Plain Language. The average reading age of adults is 12 to 14 years old, which is a 7th to 8th grade level, which is actually an improvement because in the past couple of years, it was the 5th grade level. So go America. But we need to make sure that we realize when we're speaking to adults, average reading level is going to be 7th grade. And then people read 50% less of what is online versus what is printed. That's evident on the Facebook page that we do because parents won't read past sentence number 2 because they will ask questions about what's in sentence number 3 because they haven't read that far. Running the district social media, I've learned a lot about that. They need bullets. Don't put in fluff. If you have a long thing that you need to type, Put a graphic with just the short, sweet sentences on there. Bullets are best. Leave out the fluff, put in the minimum amount of what is needed. So when being clear, you cannot assume that all parents speak English in the home. One thing that we've noticed is there is a large group of students who speak a second language that are on their own. Their parents can't read in their own language, nor can they read in English. So these kids are kind of having to handle things themselves, and it's not easy. When you offer translations, so to help with this, you can offer translations. This does not need to be Google Translate. Google Translate does not translate certain words appropriately according to dialects. One story about this is we had a school that sent home Christmas adoption. We want to adopt your family for Christmas. We want to give them gifts, blah, 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 blah. Well, the word adoption did not translate to how we put it in context. We mean it as we want to give gifts to your kids so they make sure they have a good Christmas. Well, on their translation, it was, we want to take your children away from you for the holidays. Didn't go well. Relationships started to deteriorate. And it wasn't until someone figured it out that they got everything nice and neat. And they realized that a human translator is absolutely necessary. And guess what? If you have students in your class that are ESL or ELEC, they already know how to translate. So they can help you with your stuff. Some of your teachers on campus that are bilingual can help you translate, but make sure anytime you do something, you have a human translator for that. This is an opportunity for me to talk about my Google project. So I am a recently certified Google innovator, which means that for a total of 1 year, I am focusing on a project. And my project is the Google Guardians Online Learning Academy. So I'm going to pull that up real quick. This is the edited site. Okay, so here is the Google Guardian Online Learning Academy. It is the second week of school for us. So it is like their first full week of school. And the reason that is because then the parents are going to know what they need to know for the year. We have the schedule, and check this out. On Wednesday, we have Miss Carla from Livingston Parish Public Schools, who is going to be going over Google Classroom in Spanish. She's going to do the whole entire thing in Espanol. Then further down, we have Shui from also Livingston Parish Public Schools. She's going to be at 7 o'clock doing Google Classroom in Mandarin, because we have a large population of Spanish and Mandarin speaking families. Also on here for your parents, we've got our welcome. We have our Google Classroom. We have how to turn in assignments, how to use Google Slides, Windows 10 basics, Gmail and calendar. We've got a lot in here. And the audience is for our parents, because we want our guardians to feel a little more comfortable helping their students at home. We also have a parent resources tab where they can see all of the materials that we're going to have in here. We already have the Spanish version up. And schools and districts, if you want to share it, we already have all of the invitations translated for you. We have Join Me badges in Spanish and English. And we even have a copy and paste post for you to use on Twitter and Facebook. So we want to make it as super easy as we can to get the word out, because we want to make sure that we are helping our non-English speaking families. Okay, so the next thing, don't assume that all parents understand the content level. Third grade math, that is a problem, which I don't know if you guys know this, but after third grade math comes fourth grade math and then fifth grade math, and Nikki struggled. She struggled bad. She would work with her kid and the kid was like, Mom, this is not how we do it in class. And I'm like, So I'm watching Khan Academy videos. I struggled. I did not understand that content level, and I tried really hard. So don't assume that your parents understand it. You might have to break it down for them as well. Don't assume that all parents are not struggling with learning disabilities themselves. A lot of times when you have a student with a learning disability, you meet their parents and you realize, okay, we've had parents that I'll hand them something to read and they throw it back at me. I'm not reading that. And it took me a little while to realize they probably couldn't read it. Either they didn't know how to read, or maybe they had dyslexia and reading is a struggle for them, but they were not going to struggle in front of me. or in front of another adult. So keep that in mind. You want to make sure that you use visuals. Sometimes making a short video will also help. Speaking of short videos, keep it 2 minutes or less. Sometimes it's a lot of content. I get it, 5 minutes. I wouldn't go over 5. Their attention spans just aren't that long. I would try to break it down into smaller, shorter videos. 2 minutes is kind of the magic number. 1 minute's even better. You can also take those videos and create a YouTube playlist where you can send the whole playlist to the parents, or you can even just have that as somewhere where you can just pop videos from that playlist. We have a parent videos playlist on our website. Let me tell you, I referenced that video set constantly throughout the year. I don't understand. My kid says he turns it in, but it says missing. Well, that means they didn't turn it in. Here's how to do it. And I send it over and over again. Also, don't assume that all parents are using the same devices. I did a parent training back in September, and I asked them to bring whatever device they're working on at home because I wanted to make sure that we were making sure they could do it once they went home. And the stuff that came in the door, y'all, random tablets from Walmart clearance aisle 4 years ago. Didn't even know that stuff could still work. It worked, and they were doing Google Classroom on it. And it took me a little while to orient myself. But you know what? We got it figured out. Some kids were just using old smartphones as their devices. That's really not good. School needs to provide them with a little something better if that happens again. But definitely don't assume that they have the same stuff that we have in the classroom at home. All right, the next C is be considerate. Not all students have access to a printer. Not all students have a computer at home to work on. And most importantly, not all students have an adult that is capable of helping them. A lot of students, so many students are living with grandparents who struggle with this whole thing. In virtual school, we had a grandparent who says, I don't do computers, I don't do email. And I'm like, that's going to make this difficult. And it was. But you know what? We powered through and that girl passed. And like that grandma was determined, though. She wasn't going to learn how to do the computer, but she was going to make sure that kid did. But not all students have an adult like that in their lives. Some adults have to work in the nighttime. That's just life. So just make sure you're considerate that some kids are having to go home and work an extra job to pay the rent for the house. Don't load them down at night. This is one of the assignments that I did in my class, and I loved it. They had the Young Goodman Brown, and then I gave them specific colored highlighters. So as a group, they read it. Anything that showed allegory, they highlighted in green. All symbolism was in pink. So we got this big rainbow thing afterwards. It was really fun. But if I were to put that in Google Classroom, the student's going to need access to a printer, 10 pieces of printer paper, assuming that's not even front and back, might have been front and back, 4 specific multicolored highlighters, a smartphone, or it's too much. This is a great in-classroom project. It does not translate well to at-home learning. Be considerate of that, especially in elementary when you're putting stuff in Google Classroom that's 50 pages and the parents have to print it out. That's not always doable. So be considerate in what you're asking of your kids. And lastly, be comforting to your parents. They are so worried that they're not doing a good job and that their child is struggling because they're a failure of a parent. And I know that firsthand. So make sure that you give the parent comfort. Everyone's struggling. This is not an easy thing, but you can do it. One of the things I have on here, and this is super simple, and if you're following along, and if you're not, the link is in the chat. If you click on this, it says, would you like to make a copy? You click make a copy and a brand new fresh one will go to your Google Drive, and that is yours. You can edit it. It's not going to change mine. It is yours to have, to keep, to play with. And what it looks like is this. So these are just slides. Way to go. Student name. Click on it. You just change out student name, and then you have a certificate. Use your snipping tool. Whoop, 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 whoop. Use your snipping tool to snip it. Paste that bad boy in an email and send. It's that simple. It's already there. You just have to change name out, snip, paste, send. There's several. Way to go, student name, for perfect attendance all month. I'm so proud of you for being a hard worker. Again, that's, if you're an older, you're like, I'm not doing that. Change it out. I'm so proud of you. Your CSA scores were amazing. Your growth that you're showing in STAR is wonderful. Whatever. Just give them a little bit of encouragement. I know I thrive on that. So there's several in here. You can add slides, create your own. It's here for you to have and to use. Notice that every single one of them has student name. I find it very important to use the child's name. If you pay me a compliment about my kid and you said, your child is doing so well, I'm be like, nah, you sent it to everybody. But if you say, my kid's name, Locke is doing so well in class, I'm like, oh, thanks. Okay. If you took the time to write his name, then I know you meant it. Whenever you're speaking with parents, make sure you use we and us pronouns instead of I versus you pronouns. When you say I and you, put you on two separate sides of the table. When you say we and us, same side of the table. What can we do to help him? And those parents can give you advice. I've called a parent and said, look, he won't stop talking. You live with him. What do I do? And because I went to them for advice instead of fussing, it was have you tried doing this? Is he sitting next to this person? I'm like, yes. Okay, well, he has a crush on her. You might want to move. I'm like, oh my gosh. So helpful. So put yourself on the same team, ask your parents for advice, and you will be surprised at the relationships you can build. Smile when talking, even if it's on the phone. Every time someone calls here, I put a smile on my face and I say, good morning, hola, hello, whatever. And everyone's like, you're so cheerful. They don't know if I've had a bad morning. They don't know if I've gotten into a fight with my kids. They don't know any of that. I just smile, and you can hear a smile through the phone. Absolutely, you can. And that immediately puts people at ease because they know, oh gosh, she's not calling. They know if you call and you're very irritated, they can tell the minute they answer the phone. And sometimes we have to call and say something bad. It just is what it is. Sorry, your child failed the school year. Okay. Oreo cookie, anything negative. Okay. 3 layers of an Oreo. Good, negative, good. Always start off with something positive. Hey, you know what? Troy is such a great leader. I have appreciated his leadership skills. Unfortunately, he didn't pass English this year. He's going to have to repeat. So that's positive, negative, and you end with a positive. But I'm really excited to have him again next year. I think that if he tries really hard and because he has all this stuff, he's going to do well. And he may even be a leader in class. It's kind of speaking it into fruition, hopefully. So make sure you do those things. You celebrate their accomplishments. I will tell you, I had a group of kids my second year of teaching. It was business English, all boys, 2 girls in this class, all seniors. They were so bad. And this is how it started. They were bad. They were so bad. I did one little thing in my class, and by the end, we had the best relationships that one literally called me in my office 2 weeks ago just to tell me how his son was doing in class. I run into them all the time around Livingston. I feel like I have the best relationships with this class because I did one thing. The second week of school, golly, they were so bad, y'all. This is how bad. One got wasted on the weekend, climbed the water tower, and spray painted it here in Livingston. And he could have died, but he spray painted it, seniors on the tower, and that was the group I was dealing with. Well, one day I decided to send a postcard to his parents, and it was, hey, just want to let you know, Billy Bob is a great leader. He has great leadership skills. And you know what? He came in a few days later and was like, hey, you sent my mom a postcard. I'm like, yeah. He said, she put it on the fridge. I was like, really? He said, yeah, I haven't had anything on the fridge since I was like elementary school. I said, well, that's pretty cool. He said, so how I get another one of those? And I was like, aha, you see all your friends over there? He said, yeah. I'm like, get them to do what I want them to do. He was like, done. So he walks over, he's like, guys, straighten up, put your books up. Let's get your books out. Like, he turned into the teacher for a day. And they're like, dude, what is going on? He said, she sent me a postcard to my parents. I want another one. So then they're like, wait, what? So then they all wanted postcards. And I'm like, well, I need to see improvement. So then I would start figuring out what I wanted from each kid. And by the end of the year, they all had 2 or 3 postcards sent home. And it was the best class. We had the best relationships. It was so much fun. Totally changed the entire atmosphere of that class. I love those kids. We've got we've got several that are police officers, several that are wildlife agents. Like, I am so proud of that group. They have come a long way, and that was a fun year for me. But I also realized the importance of celebrating accomplishments and giving them something positive, because when a school calls, it's not usually something positive. Okay, offer support. Support your parents early. If you invest in them early on, it makes your life easier down the road because they already know how to do all of these things. A family night early on to teach them how to do Google Classroom. It's going to help solve a lot of problems later. You do not have to create content. That's what this presentation's for, and there's a ton of stuff out there. Things you can do. You can offer tip sheets. You can do packet pickups, virtual office hours. Sometimes parents can't leave work, but they can Zoom you for 15 minutes. You can create your playlist, make a Google site, do a tip of the week text, that kind of stuff. All right, so here are the resources that I have for you guys. This entire presentation that you're looking at was created with Google Slides. And what I've done was the link that's up there and the links that have been for all of the presentations are a published link. So it looks like a website, more like a website and less like a presentation. All of these things are Google Slides that can be done that way. So let me show you a sample. For the virtual school, as you guys know, it was created pretty much over the Christmas break, and we threw together this Google site with the teachers' pages. Click on the page, and every teacher page looks like this. It's a really nice website. Fun fact, it's not a website at all. It's a Google slide. I made the colors real pretty. I did red because that was the school color. I sent them all a link to it. They filled it out, shared it with me, and then we just published it, linked it to that page. Sounds complicated. It's so easy to do. All of them are the same. Here's mine, because I don't know if they would love me doing that. So again, I told them, change your quote, put in your stuff, leave everything the same. Underneath, they could edit however they wanted to. But that was just to keep it consistent for our parents, so they knew office hours are the same place on everybody's page. Zoom links, same place on everybody's page. That was everybody's. And so when you click on this one on your presentation, it will ask you if you want to make a copy. You say yes, and then you, let me see if I find it. Here we go. And then this presentation will push to your Google Drive. Heather, if there are questions, you're just going to have to pop in because I don't have the things popped up.
We've actually not really had a whole lot. I mean, people are just complimenting how awesome this is, but I have not seen any massive questions just yet, but I'm sure they're coming.
All right. If you've got questions, you throw them in there, and then most of you know how to get a hold of me if you watch this after the fact. So when you push this to your Google Drive, it's going to come up like this. You can change the colors. You can add your picture. What I've done on here is kind of give tips, because when I sent it out, some of our teachers who were kind of new to this was like, how do I do this? And every question I got, I tried to come put in tips and advice on the side, just to kind of head off those questions for you guys in the future. Again, you're probably not going to need Zoom links. You might, but you could replace that with something else. Google Classroom link, that kind of thing. Here's how to crop your picture as a circle. Here's how to link your email. All of this stuff right here. So down here, we have two different agendas. We've got the weekly agenda and the daily agenda. I'm going to look at the weekly first. Some of your teachers are, look, I don't want to be creative. I want to type and walk away. So what this is if they click on here, and it will just make a copy of only this one page. And everything is set. Nothing can be accidentally moved. There will be typing boxes under each thing. So there's no editing this if you make a copy. And the point is, we don't want someone who's uncomfortable to accidentally move stuff around, get frustrated, and quit. The purpose is it is simple. They click and type, and then they're done. For others of you, we put in here how to use this template. You can make a copy of the entire presentation, and then you name that presentation the class, so English 1. Then you choose your slide. You can edit these. These are yours to edit. That was the whole point. Everything is editable. We changed different colors. We did LSU. We started doing school colors, and I was like, Nikki, move on, because it's a rabbit hole, and I like doing it. So here's what's awesome about these. So for your agenda, and I prefer weekly instead of daily. You can type up everything that you're doing, like basically a virtual makeup folder. Put the dates, and then you would file, publish to the web, make sure everything's unchecked, and then you publish it. Yes, I do. So I will show you what it looks like. Okay, so this is what your parent's going to see. You type everything up in here. So whenever you're using it, let me find it again. When you're using it, you would fill out your weekly agenda. You would, and it tells you how to duplicate, Control D. Duplicate it, move your newest one to the top. So let's say this is my newest one. I will move it to the top. You just drag it up there. And then when the parent opens that link, all changes that you've made are there, and they will see the most recent. This goes back to that Google Classroom posting. If you don't put it under a topic and you put agenda, you never have to change that link. The link stays the same for all eternity until you unpublish it or the world ends or whatever. So that way there's no work for you to do other than you type in your agenda, you move it to the top, and you move on with your life. You don't have to click a publish button, nothing. It automatically updates for you. So that keeps your parents in the loop. It lets them know your makeup work. You have your agenda, because I personally need that, especially if you teach multiple classes. So that's a way to have a virtual makeup folder within your Google Classroom that will meet the district requirements. It's short, simple. It's so easy, you guys. The next one was for those of you who like to do daily. We have the same thing. Black and white. You click here, make a copy. Nothing's movable. Nothing's changeable. You click and type. If you're like me and you're like, but I want to change everything. Here's how to use it. Here's the sample of it. Today's lunch, you can do an announcement. It's chicken tenders with mashed potatoes. Because if your kid's like me, that's the most important question of the day. What is for lunch? Oh, okay. Chicken tenders. If it's Monday, we know it's chicken tenders. What are we doing today? What do I need today? What's for homework? Okay. And then the date. All of these here, assignments, due dates, links, they're all different. Class assignments, homework, links. It's yours. Once you make a copy of it, all colors, text are editable. You make it your own. Match your room, match your themes, whatever. Again, same thing. File, publish, and then any changes you make happen live. Casey Moscow from Dole High did this presentation with me. She actually has one for announcements, and they post it to their Facebook page and have it pinned. And all announcements are there all the time. The link stays the same, and she just goes and edits the announcements so the parents have the most up-to-date stuff. So there's a lot of ways that you can use this. Okay, so those are these 3 templates that are yours to keep. If you are not familiar with Slidesmania, and I know somebody, I think it was Bryce yesterday, was like, I'd never heard of this. I'm about to make your life. You're welcome. I take flowers and chocolate. Just kidding. Send it to her because she does amazing. Slidesmania, education. Look, all kinds of stuff. There's choice boards and games. Ads pop up. You just hit close. All of these. One teacher told me she was going to make it a group project where they had to go to Slidesmania, choose a board game, and they had to create a board game for a review. I was like, oh my gosh, I love it. Because your students have access to this too. Here's all the different choices. I personally, for almost all of my presentations, I like the notebook style. There we go. I enjoy having tabs to click on. You'll notice this one is it matches our LPSB parent page. We have edited it. In fact, I'll pull it up real quick for you. Living as a parish home. So for that website, we were having some issues with it just not being very user friendly. It was like this long list of links, and it wasn't fun to deal with. It's taking forever and a day. There we go. So over digital help, we hit parent help, and look what happens. It is the notebook. That's it. You can do this on your websites too. Click on videos. Here's all the different videos. And these are the ones that I use constantly. We just did Flipgrid an hour ago. How to sign in. These are all little bitty ones for your kids to be able to do. How to use Seesaw. Click for more. Immersive Reader, Power School. All of these things are here. Go to logins. Your parents are like, I don't know my kid's login. Here you go. It's all right here. Handouts. Classroom guide. Reflex parent guide. These are just the different guides that we have. Zoom cheat sheets in English and Spanish. Stuff that we have to post about, cell phone, social media, etc. At home use. Okay, more. All of this was using this template. Every one that you click on comes with a video that explains how to change the colors and stuff. So watch that video. I used to not watch the video and I was causing myself problems. Watch the video. It's like 1 minute and it will teach you about how to change the master and make it your own. I use these for most of our professional developments. In fact, let's see. We had actually used it for our professional development as well. Let's see if I can find it. Here we go. For the virtual program, this was for teachers. Change the colors to match the virtual school for this spring. And then here was all of our professional development. So you can use this for PD in your schools as well. This date, what we're covering, click for the Zoom link because we had to do it all virtually because we were all doing it in addition to our regular jobs. So that's just a little tiny bit of what Slidesmania has to offer. Textgiraffe.com is one where if you want really fun fonts, but you don't feel like being creative because for whatever reason, look, I'm gonna type in springboard. Why? Hit go. It will take that word and it will convert it into all these different ones. And look, tons and tons and tons and tons and tons. You click the one you like. Look how cute. I love springboard. Let's do this one. And then what happens here is you can change the word up here, hit enter, and it will change it for you. That way you keep it the same every single time. Right click, copy image, paste it on your presentations. And then you have cute fonts like this without having to do a whole lot of the work. Okay, so I know I told you how to publish it, but in case you're watching this later or you wanted to revert back to it, this is the publishing, how to do it, file, publish to web, super simple. Any changes you make automatically update on your published file. So again, there's no need to repost the link. There's no need to do anything. You just make your changes within your slide presentation and the changes just happen. And that is it. So my name is Nikki Laverne. I am the tech facilitator here, but I will soon be the administrative assistant out at the virtual school at the Literacy and Technology Center, which I'm super excited about. This is my Gmail account. If you have any Google questions, of course, I'm also at lpsb.org. And then here's all of our invitations because I'm super proud in Spanish, in Mandarin, and in English. So thank you guys for joining me. Heather, do you know what's next?
Yes, I do, actually. Hang on. Classroom screen.
Yes, with Jolie.
So we're going to be talking with Jolie Gregoire. So we'll be taking a look at classroom screen. This was amazing, Nikki. I love all of the color and how fun everything is.
I love
the fact that you give everything to everybody and it's just so user-friendly. Click here, do this. I mean, it makes it easy to do. So it's not as overwhelming if you're a beginner at something. Yeah. So that is definitely an awesome thing. Don't forget about our survey and our attendance link. I did drop it right there, bit.ly/techweek21. Make sure that T is capitalized. Let us know what you thought.
I do have a favor to ask for that survey where it says, how can it be improved? Like, I would love for you to just give me any feedback. I like this presentation. I want to do it again. I want to make it better. So throw that in there. If you've got any recommendations of other links or other templates, send them my way. I would love to have them.
Yeah, don't be hesitant you don't have to tell us, oh, it's great, don't change anything. No, we want to be better. So make sure you're letting us know what we can do to be better. And also we do have some door prizes. So fill out that attendance link and we will put you in the drawing to get some of those. But yeah, we will see you very shortly at 10:30. So about 20 minutes to go over classroom screen with Jolie Gregoire.
You're going to love classroom screen. If you're a new teacher, you definitely want to tune in for classroom
Absolutely.
Screen. Yep.
So get you a snack, get you a beverage, stand, stretch, whatever, and we will see you back here in 20 minutes. Thanks so much, everyone.
Thank you, guys.